What's going on, guys? Welcome to Progress Over Perfection, episode 2. So this time around, we've got a few more questions from you guys that you want answering. You want more in-depth explanations on certain things. So that's where we're going to be today. So, Big Dog, over to you.
How's things with you then? Not a bodybuilder perspective. How's life in general? How's work? How's all that sort of
You know
stuff?
what, mate? Life's what you make it, is it? Life's a dream. Let's put it that way. Nah, we're just getting on with it. Got work commitments. I've got other things going on. Obviously, bodybuilding shit going on. But yeah, man, we're here. We're doing the thing. What
That's
about
it.
you?
Just do the stuff, mate. Is it? Obviously, bodybuilding, but I'm trying to make it less present in life and just trying to do it in the background to do what I need to do, but not let it take over as much as it tries
Yeah,
to.
yeah, of
I'm just
course.
trying to keep it on the back burner.
And
But yeah,
I think as we've got more and more in depth to doing this, it's easier to do that, to take a step away from it and have that one side and then have everything else on the other side.
definitely. I think and that actually translates to like your fitness journey in general. But when you're in that routine of going to the gym or eating clean foods or whatever it is you're doing, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So that
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
what is it, first 2, 3, 4 weeks, that transition of, tidying up your diet and stuff like that. Yeah, it's hard. But after that, once you get into the routine of meal prep, going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever it is, it
It's
just becomes
automatic.
routine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they say it's 21 days and something you do just becomes a routine.
Yeah, it becomes a habit. Yeah.
Yeah. So make your training and all that stuff a habit, guys. But we got some questions, like Louis said. So in my team group chat, there was a big discussion about water and fluid intake. So there was a lot of complaints about, needing to go to the toilet, needing to get this much water in, how to get this much water in, is it possible, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, what's your take on that?
My thing is, first thing in the morning is the easiest time. First thing in the morning, like before breakfast, get up, drink a glass of water, whether it's a pint or whatever. Get a glass of water down. You start you right. You're already probably maybe a quarter of the way to your water goal for the day. And then I usually carry 2 liters or 5 liters around with me at work and just sip on that through the day. But it's not plausible for everyone to carry like 5 liters.
Yeah.
But carrying a bottle with you, just keeping it topped up and just throughout the day, little sips will equate to your water goal throughout the day. If you're at work for 8 hours and you're sipping on your drink every half an hour, you're going to get your water in. Yeah, you're going to want to go to the toilet, but after a while, your body's going to regulate your toilet time. You're not going to be pissing constantly. You're not going to be, oh, I don't want to drink water because I need to go to the toilet. But at the start, it's going to fucking happen. So deal with it.
Yeah, 100%. You got to just deal with it. Our bodies, the majority of our body is water. We need water. We need water in our body. We need hydration. We need to, when you sweat in the gym, we're getting water out. So like my take on it, like you said, first thing in the morning, get a big glass of water in before you have coffee, before you do anything. Just get a glass of water in, and
Yeah.
then what I suggest is when you train, at least a liter with whatever else you're having in it. If it's aminos, salt, whatever you're having in your training, you're gonna sweat. So just kind of put it back in, stay hydrated, and then I kind of suggest just to have it with each meal or between meals, because then you're gonna sit and have a meal. So it's a reminder to have a drink. And like, what do we need to get? At least 3 liters, 4 liters. It's not massive at the
So,
end of the world.
yeah, for a male, you're looking at 3 or 4. Female, 2 to 3 would be optimum.
I say at least three. I don't even care if male, female, size of you, just at least three. Because when you go to the gym, you do cardio, you're gonna sweat. Because that one
This is
liter,
true.
I put about a liter and a half in my training drink, and like before you know it, like I finished it. I need a little bit more.
Yeah, I do 2 liters whilst training.
There we go. So it's just an
But
easy way to
again,
get it in.
yeah,
But that
and I think
routine, like we said earlier, just getting up, getting half a liter or a pint.
start the day with a
That's
glass of
it.
water. It gets that routine rolling, and you'll straight away you'll get into the habit of doing it.
And if you have it earlier in the day, there's less likelihood that you need to pee through the night.
This is true.
And going to the toilet more actually is a good thing. It's extra steps.
Yeah, I don't think most people are going to see it that way, but yeah, it's
Definitely
true.
not. Another question, a slightly different one. Um, how long after making your protein shake can you drink it? Like the water's been added or the milk, whatever's been added. A client of mine made it the day before, and then the next day she was like, "Can I drink it?"
Yeah, nah, don't just. if you're gonna do a shake, make your shake there and then. It's that the whole point of it is it's easy, it's simple. You don't need to pre-make it. It takes you 2 seconds to add water or milk to it, shake it up, and drink it. Do not leave it overnight because it can smell so bad.
Oh, mate. Obviously,
It-
like you said,
oh,
put the powder in by itself. Make sure the shaker's dry. Put your powder in, and then just
Yeah.
take it where you need to go. Add the water last minute.
yeah.
But I'm sure you've done it before, especially in like in prep when you're like busy and whatever work life. You drink a shake, leave it in the car. It will like roll under the seat. You come back in a
Oh
week
yeah.
and you open it, and it's like
No.
bloody
I
hell.
opened one once, and then after that, any shaker I find in the car that I think's been there longer than a week, that shit's going in the bin.
But and that's how bad it is. No matter how you clean it,
Yes.
sterilize it. I've used my
Yeah,
baby sterilizer kit when he was younger, mate. Nothing's getting that smell
Yeah,
away.
you can put boiling hot water, bleach
Tried
in
it.
it, and that shit stays.
I literally tried everything, and like it's not worth it. And you get
You know what?
shakers free all the time with orders.
Yeah, that's
stuff
like the
that. So I'm like,
ultimate. When you were a kid, that would have been like the ultimate stink bomb.
yeah. But
That would have that's rancid.
it's indescribable, the smell. It's like
Yeah.
toxic, and it's so strange, right? And I'm going somewhere I don't even know where I'm going. Like, what the hell is in it that makes it smell like that? That we're putting in our body?
Obviously, there's like eggs, milk, depending on what it is. It could be like a beef isolate. It's bro. It's
It's just that smell is just rancid.
rancid.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Have you got a question while I find the others?
I have indeed. So this is from one of my clients who she has to travel a lot for work. How do you still make good decisions when routine is interrupted for travel for work or traveling in general? So, I mean, it depends on how you're traveling. If it's by car and it's a few hours, obviously make sure you got your meals with you. But obviously, if you're traveling internationally, it can be difficult to make sure your meals are ready and you can get them through customs and things like that. Because depending on where you go, obviously meats, cheeses, things like that aren't going to be allowed. So for me, it'd be just make sensible choices. If you're at an airport, have a look and make sensible choices whilst you're traveling. Instead of going for, like, the main thing is, especially long distance flights, eating a lot of carbs before a flight, you can hold a hell of a lot of water. And it's
It doesn't matter for everyday Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you have to, if you're an everyday person, let's say you've got to travel to America or somewhere else for work that's over like 3 or 4 hours, you're going to hold a lot of water. Or if it's just you're going to Europe, then don't worry about it. Like,
Bro, if I was going to America, bodybuilding aside, mate, I would eat whatever, like sandwiches, rice, chicken, whatever. I wouldn't care about the water. You get there, you might be watery. Like, who cares? You're in clothes. A couple of days, hydrated, stay water.
Female, obviously, water retention for me. I have a lot of clients who whinge about water retention traveling because they travel 12, 14, 16 hours on a plane for work. So the person who asked this travels like 16 hours sometimes back to this country. So she comes back for 4 days and she said she's holding water. She feels uncomfortable. I'm just on about that. But everyday work.
Specific, Specific to
everyday
her.
work. Then you just,
But yeah, normal person. But for me, it's like, if let's maybe we should break it down to two. So let's say you're going on a road trip to Cornwall or whatever. What would you do?
Obviously, for me, it's easy. I usually have all my meals prepped anyway. Every service station nowadays has a microwave in the middle of it. So you could use that. Or you just make a sensible choice when you go there. Instead of going to KFC and picking up the fucking biggest, fattest fucking mega bucket with popcorn chicken, fries, gravy, and mash.
Oh, that sounds good.
It does, to be honest. The popcorn chicken sounds banging. But no, like, go to, I don't know, M&S and see what you can find, or WH Smith, whatever they've got there, and just make simpler choices. It doesn't have to be all completely fat free or this or that.
So we need to give direct advice. We want to be like, I think the goal of the podcast is to give actionable.
Have a fucking sandwich. Have a sandwich. If you want a bag of crisps, have a fucking bag of crisps.
So for me, it's like, depending on your goal, how specific and how on the time frame of your goal, depends on like what you get. But not everyone. We can't expect everyone to pack their bags, to put it in a cooler bag, and all that sort of stuff.
Of course, like you say, that's where,
easy as that is, most people are not going to do it. But like you said, it's just about making the right choices. So for me, it's like, go to a supermarket. I won't go to services. Services charge way too much. I think a Monster's like £3. I'm like, nah. But you go to a Tesco, and I would just pick up, cooked chicken breast, and like a bagel or bread or a wrap, and just make a little wrap, and then on I go. I've done it before when I didn't have my meals, and it just it's easy, it's convenient. You know what you're getting. But like you said, you could just break it down and go, look, here's my calories goal for the day. I need to get this much protein or close to. I'm just gonna get, I don't know, a tuna mayo sandwich and get a meal deal and
Yeah,
get
tuna mayo,
a
chicken
pack of
salad,
Snacker
something like
Jacks or
that.
something. Yeah, and a 0 calorie drink. And it's easy, it's convenient. You're not putting anybody else out, and you don't really feel like you're dieting, but you're still somewhat adherent to where you to your
Yeah,
goal.
it's still manageable within what you're
Yeah.
trying to do.
And then if you do little things like pack, protein powder, or you take,
A shaker with some protein powder in.
yeah, without the water. Um, I always take like my flavor drops or flavor powder for my coffee. That you just take the little things that you can't get elsewhere.
Or
Um,
you could just drink black coffee, mate. It's not the end of the world.
Mate, I don't know. I need some
I'm
sweetener in there. I need a little bit. I need a touch. I need a touch. But yeah, just packing like some supplements, some protein, and even the bits that you need for the day or the next days if you're there for a little period of time, just makes it easier. Most companies, I know ESN, shout out, Code Body Focus. You get the samples, and there's things like Clear Isolate Whey anyway, Clear Whey, which is like drinking juice, so it's really easy to get in. It's super digestible. It doesn't taste like you're drinking a protein shake. But the second part of the question is, like you said, traveling abroad when you're, in the airport and you're on an airplane for 12 hours, there's no food. What do you do? Well, there is
yeah,
food,
well,
but, you know,
again, that's down to the individual whether you think, all right, for that 12 hours, fuck it, I'm gonna go off kilter. When I check in, I'm gonna say, oh, well, I couldn't because of this, and this. You can always buy stuff at an airport that there is healthier options.
Mm.
But again, it's not the be all and end all if you obviously can't do it. It's not, you're not taking a whole week off your diet and putting everything down the fucking pan. It's one day where you need to travel. So it's one of them. It can happen.
I completely agree. It's not the be all and end all. But what I think the problem is, if it triggers you, let's say you're flying out 5, 6 in the morning, you're on a flight for this many hours, so you got a meal in the airport, maybe 2 meals or two servings of food on the plane, and you get off and you're like, oh, I've already eaten shit. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna whatever. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get.
and then it
Then it gets a bit,
straight off the
yeah.
cliff.
So it's like just because you can't be perfect doesn't mean you just chuck the towel in for the day and set yourself back further. So enjoy the food on the plane as enjoyable as it probably isn't. Um, and then just get back straight back to it as soon as you can.
That's fair.
Okay.
Right, well,
You got another one?
yeah, I think so.
I've got some here.
Right then, so Dazzy says, when training for weight loss, should I be training every day?
I think when you're training for anything, you shouldn't be training every day because recovery is key. I know sleep and recovery are super key. That's when our muscles are going to adapt to this to the stimulus of training. So if we're not recovering well, we're not going to be training well. So it's just a vicious cycle. So I recommend. I'm on the fence now because I'm actually only training 4 days a week,
Yeah, and I'm
and
I'm a five, so
but I've always been a five for the last I don't even know, older, 15 or so years, longer than 20 years, 5 days
yeah.
a week standard, unless I'm in like a health phase or a deload or something, then I pull back. But where I'm in I've just been doing well in four. We kind of just kept it, and
Yeah.
my body feels less beaten up. I feel more recovered. I sleep better. So I think it's anywhere between, I'm going to say 3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 and 5 is a healthy spot, I would say
I've,
as well.
I've had clients who want to train 6, but no matter how you do 6, right, it ends up being 6 in a row, because you get one day
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's just a cycle of six, six. And then if you're actually training hard, I don't mean bodybuilder hard, just training yourself personally hard, after that third session in a row, that fourth, fifth, and sixth are gonna
It's
be
gonna be tough.
shit. Yeah. But the training performance is gonna be off. You
Yeah.
might want to be there, but if you're not getting the most out of it, is there a point?
No, I agree with
Um,
that. Yeah.
the other way to look at it is maybe does he mean cardio? Maybe that's a of interest?
I would say, let's say for me, let's say you do 5 days, and then I'll have 2 days obviously off, but active recovery. So I'll have a set amount of steps that I want to do for that day, and it's low impact, it's low taxing. And you know what? At the minute, weather's starting to pick up. It's good to get out there, get some fresh air, get some sun on your skin, makes you feel good.
Vitamin
So I would
D
say,
as well, and especially we don't get it
yeah,
much here.
yeah, active recovery, like a couple of days, like 2 to 3 days active recovery is
Yeah.
always optimum, I would say as well.
Yeah, I think depending on your goal, which is always going to be the case of all questions, but like I've got a bike here, like I can do some cardio here, so I'm still training to a degree. Some people class it as training, but it's not taxing on my central nervous system. It's not taxing on my body's ability to recover to a high extent. And like you said, I've got a step count to hit every day as well, so that just
Yeah,
keeps expenditure consistent as well.
yeah.
Maybe that's the next topic. What are what's neat? Should we go into neat, or why do we have a step count?
Yeah, you go. Why do you have a step count?
Yeah.
That's obviously it's just especially on like rest days. It's an added tool that we add in where we can burn more calories. That a lot of the time, most of the time, you'll get home, you'll sit on your ass, you won't do anything, but you'll sit there and rot watching TV. Whereas if you go for a 25-minute walk, you get in 1,000 steps or a little bit more. You do that over the course of the week, your expenditure goes up, you burn more calories, and you actually start to enjoy yourself and think, oh, it's actually better than sitting on my ass. I'm actually burning calories instead of sitting there. And that's where the temptations come in when you're sitting down at night, watching TV or after work, you're like, oh, I could do with a cake now, or I'll have a biscuit.
Mm.
And then it becomes one biscuit, becomes the whole pack.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're taking steps back instead of taking steps forward. So I think for me, it's more, especially what I use with my clients, it's more obviously a tool for their rest days, but also to get them, people who sit on office chairs all day and they say to me, oh, I have to get up out of my office chair. I have to go for a walk during my lunch break or whatever. And they're like, I actually come back, I work harder. I work better. It clears my
Definitely more
mind.
productive, yeah.
So
But I also think, just to add to that, like um when you're in a deficit, so we're in a calorie deficit, we're losing weight, you naturally get tired, more tired. You naturally get more lethargic. You naturally want to move less. So if we are creating this calorie deficit and we're going down, and then we start moving less, the deficit's kind of no longer there. So just having that consistency of a step count, even if I've got some clients who are on 6K steps just because they're so busy and whatever, but at least we know they're getting a minimum of 6K every single day. So even if their food is, I'm not going to say through the floor, but as it comes down or goes up, at least we know a minimum of 6K steps are made. So that much calories are accounted for to a certain degree.
yeah.
Um, you got any more? Is that another one?
Look.
Oh,
Dazzy, what is one calculation to work out how many calories I need to be on for a deficit?
I think you just need to Google it, jump onto one of those calculators, and that will give you. Actually have one running through my page as well. So if someone messages me, it will work it out. Ask your questions, your age, your gender, how active you are, and a few questions
Yeah.
that will work it out based on numbers. I don't know them off the top of my head.
I mean, the way I've always basically worked it out would be your body weight into pounds,
Mm.
and then times that by 12 is usually maintenance. 12 to 14 is maintenance. And then obviously take off 3 to 500 to be in a deficit, or add 3 to 500 to be in a surplus. That's the easiest way to calculate it, but it's even easier if you just go on Google, to be honest.
See, when I start a trading plan for like a new client, I'm less. Is the word systematic? It's more based on like experience and working with so many different people, and you can kind of get a gist of how hard they train, how active they
Yeah.
are, and their lifestyle. And then it's like, cool, here's your body weight in kilos. I tried to double it, and then that's your protein target. And then we know an average woman's, just an average typical, woman is 2,000 calories, and a typical man is 2,500 to a degree. And then I base that number based on how active they are, how much they train, this, that, and the other. Your protein
Yeah.
goal is set, and then I kind of make up the rest of the macros.
Depending on that person. And
Yeah. For female, I try to keep fats a bit higher.
yeah, of course. Hormone
And
balance
then I try to
is
put the carbohydrates, the majority of them, to a degree around the training if possible. But sometimes I just have a let's just get started. Here's your meal plan. There's no pre, there's no post. Here's your food
just
for the day. Let's just
food for the day.
let's get
As long as it
routine.
gets in, that's
Yeah.
what I care. Yeah,
Let's just get routine in. Let's get, you know, some things. And then from there, so whoever this Dazzy, did you say?
yeah.
So whatever he or she.
He,
So whatever he's for me, it's like whatever you're eating now. So let's say he puts his food in MyFitnessPal, he works out he's eating, 3,000 calories. He could keep it there, make sure you get enough protein for his body weight, and then fill the rest in or whatever else. For a period of 5 to 7 days, do you lose weight? Do you gain weight? Do you maintain? And then based on your goal, if you want to lose weight, then tweak down. If you want to hold or whatever,
drop your calories,
tweak up.
just drop the measurements a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think finding out where you are is so important rather than
worrying
just
about a
going
number to begin with.
yeah. Because people could be eating, let's say just a woman's eating 3,500 calories, not very good food, and then goes into this macro calculator and it's like, oh, you should be eating 2,000 calories or less. She has to drop all this food. How sustainable is that from 3.5 to 2 to 1.5? It's such a big drop. Whereas if she dropped from
Yeah, and
three
then
and a
again,
half to
obviously,
three, she's going to lose weight.
and then again, the thing is, you bring into consideration, obviously, the quality of food that they're eating and things like that. Like you can eat 3,000 calories of shit food, and it's not much. You can eat 3,000 calories of whole foods, and it's a hell of a lot of food.
Yeah. I was just
So
watching a 10K calorie challenge. It's more not a challenge, but a video on YouTube, and he was eating all clean foods: rice, steak, potatoes, eggs.
that's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. But when you watch someone eat like a dirty one, it's like maybe 3 meals.
Yeah, it's like I watched the
Easily
guy.
3 meals.
I watched the guy try and eat 150 chicken nuggets, and I was like, he failed at like 100 and I think 108,
Yeah,
and I was like, that's
it's not a lot of food.
the calorie workout to it was like 3,500, 4,000 on just chicken nuggets.
That well, I think,
To be honest with you, I was disappointed that he couldn't finish all 150
Yeah.
nuggets. I reckon I would ruin 150 nuggets from McDonald's. Each nugget's a bite.
yeah, but it's for me. It's like, why would I do that? Because it's not even enjoyable.
No, after like
Not enjoyable.
nuggets aren't in general. I prefer the selects are better, but
But for me, it's like I'm all about variety. So I love to go to like a buffet or something, but I avoid them because it's so easy to overeat.
oh mate, yes, agreed.
Here's a good question: how to manage cheat meals?
Again, it's not a cheat meal. Remember, this is what you said. It's not a cheat meal. It's
No,
an off-plan
wait,
meal.
I'm just using terminology. It's like, if a woman says, "Oh, I want to tone up," I don't go, "Oh no, you don't tone up. Like you lose body fat." No, I just cool. Let's tone up because we know what they mean. So if we
Yeah.
use the word cheat meal, everyone who's listening gets it. So,
All right.
what's your advice to Joe Blogs how to manage their one weekly cheat meal, and then let's go ask you how you manage yours in a outside of a bodybuilding prep setting.
Don't. The whole point is have a cheat meal, have all your other meals, and the only way I would say is you still have your breakfast, you still have your lunch. If you're having your cheat meal as your dinner, just take that meal out, replace it with the dinner. Don't have dinner and dessert. Have your dinner, have whatever you want, whatever your cheat meal is, cheat meal of choice, whether it's Chinese, Indian, whatever. Have that meal, but don't take the piss and start having desserts and turn it into a cheat day as people do. Like if it's a cheat meal and it's something that you want to have, fucking have it. But have your don't have a whole day of it. Have your 2 meals beforehand and you snack, and then have that next day back on plan. And that way, I find as well, once you have one once a week or every 2 weeks, you actually enjoy the food a lot more. I think once you start having the same one constantly, then it's actually like fucking good. But then
I actually have the same cheat meal like weekly when I was having them.
Nah,
Just find what
I will have variety on that. 1 week I'll have like sushi. Next week I'll have pizza. The week after
some
that,
weeks. Do you ever find you have some weeks where you're disappointed? Like, oh, that wasn't as good as like last week.
No, because I change it. That's why.
See, but with me, it's like if I have a pizza every week or whatever I'm having, it's normally a pizza or some pizza. I know what I'm getting, and it's consistently the same from the same
not
place.
necessarily though, because after a point, it becomes monotonous because you know exactly what it is. There's no surprise.
There's no
when you have it.
excitement, but it's
Yeah,
consistent. And I think that's the
it's
bodybuilding
consistent.
mind
But for
because
me,
it's like your
my
diet,
thing is
isn't it?
it keeps hair fresh for me because if I
Yeah.
know what's coming, I'm like, oh, all right, that's it was good a couple of weeks ago, and then it just slowly becomes meh.
Okay,
Whereas
what is your
if I
death
change
row
it every
meal?
3 weeks, if I what do I have for a cheat meal?
Yeah, what's your
Oh,
if you had one death row meal is the best way to put it.
death row. I don't know because I'd say like a big fat ribeye or something like that, but because that's death row, like it's going to be the biggest steak I could ever have in my life. But if we're just going on if I could have a cheat meal right now,
Finished all your shows, never competing again. Oh, you just won the biggest show in the world. I'm going wherever. I want something to. That's what I want now.
I'm
Three
probably going to
courses.
ruin
What's that?
3 quarters. No, I'm probably going to ruin two fucking bacon double cheeseburgers from Five Guys, two large fries, two milkshake, and then I'm probably going to get like four Cinnabon after.
I can deal with that. But see, for me, like a burger and chips is too standard. But it's
Yeah,
like
but
my
for,
go-to. It's one of my go-tos. Five Guys all day.
again, if I haven't had that now. Like, so what? I'm on 16 weeks. I haven't had that for 16 weeks. I know if I eat that, that's going to taste like fucking heaven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what? When you go for that long without a cheat meal, when you have one, kind of whatever you have tastes so good. It can be like a stale McDonald's, like it will taste good because it's just so different textures. It's different to what you
Tickles the
normally eat.
soul.
Yeah,
Tickles
it's a
the
salt.
soul.
Yeah, it's a salt. But my take on cheat meals, I think I agree. Have your normal food through the day. Because I find if you have, some people might skip more meals in the day to have a bigger meal in the evening, but you're
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of setting yourself up to be super hungry, super ravenous, and then to overeat. And some people will have like a lunch or a brunch or a breakfast as their cheat meal, but then it's like, how often do you have pancakes and a fry up for breakfast, and then later on your next meal you have chicken and rice? It's kind of playing with your mind a little bit. So for me, it has to be the evening. Try to stick to all your food for the rest of the day. But for me, it's have a meal, have a dessert, and if people are drinkers, that's when I tell you to have your glass of wine or your beer or whatever. Have it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that meal in one sitting. Because I'd rather you have that cookie, custard, cake, or whatever it is then than crave it all week and then maybe binge or eat something else during the week, and then it's harder to see what's happening to their body.
Yeah, I get that.
But
So
again, it's
I would,
goals.
yeah, again, yeah, goals orientated, definitely.
Mm. I got a couple here. If I asked you them last week because it's the same list of questions, just let me know. Um, Easy one. Why do you bulk and cut? This is for a lifestyle person still. I guess it all is, but why do we bulk and cut as a lifestyle person?
Obviously, it's sometimes when you first come on board, a lot of people will not be eating enough food. So it's body recomp to start with why I would bulk somebody up because a lot of time they won't be eating enough calories and they want to go on a diet straight away, but they're already eating fucking calories that are through the floor. So their body's not going to respond. So for me, I would build the calories up slowly, make sure their body's responding well, and then it gives you a handle to be able to taper down. But again, for other people, they could want to. They're getting married next year. They want to have a bit more muscle on. Yeah, we're right. We'll bulk you up and then we'll slowly bring you down. Again, it could be goal dependent. It's all on that person what they want to do.
So I think typically for me, I think typically I'll go down first. If they want to gain more muscle, I kind of want to go down first.
See where they're
Make
at.
sure their body's sensitive enough to the food and insulin or whatever. I'm not going to go into that, but make sure they're at a good spot of body fat first before pushing calories up. But also, again, it depends on
On the
where you're coming
person.
from. But I think the question's more ask for you. Why do you? Let's say you're not competing. Why would you have a mini cut and then gain weight? Why would you have a mini cut and then gain weight? Why would you not just keep building, even if let's say you get chunkier and softer? Why do you not keep going?
Because you keep the body fat in check. That's the for me. That's the main reason. Otherwise, once you carry on bulking, the body fat keeps going up, keeps going up. When it comes to cutting, you're making your job so much harder to drop all of this body fat. You're going to have to work 5 times harder to shift a lot more body fat. Whereas if you incrementally have a cut, drop a bit of body fat, push again, that way you just keep the body fat in check. So that way, then when it comes to your proper cut, you haven't got an absolute shit ton of body fat to lose.
Mm.
What
think
about you?
yeah, I agree completely. Just to add to that, like I think when you get softer, which is normal, you're going to gain body fat as you're bulking up. One, appetite eventually goes in the bin. I've had to push up to 5.5, I believe, 6,000 calories. I was blending Cocoa Pops. I've blended chicken in the past. I want,
The worst one that I've blended is tuna.
mate, I've
Two tins of
blended
tuna with a bit of water.
steak and rice. But when
That'd
you
be
get into
vile.
that level,
Yeah, but
appetite is in the bin. So you can, fix that by having a diet, a little clean up, a little tidy up, resensitize your appetite, get it going again, drop a little body fat, and then just push back on. Um, and without all the sciencey stuff, again, it's like if you're carrying too much body fat and you're pushing on and to build more muscle, how much muscle are you building? You start to
yeah.
build more fat, whereas when you're in a leaner state, you'll be building more muscle tissue. So that's why we typically, as a bodybuilder, come up and down sort of thing.
Yeah, tough.
Let's get one more done. One more. Here's an easy one. What's a healthy weight loss? So we get two. What's a healthy weight loss in a deficit per week?
Healthy calorie drop for weight loss.
No, I think it's a healthy, like a body weight drop.
Body weight drop. You know what? 1 pound a week is sustainable, or even half. Anything between half and 1 pound a week, I would say is just your first couple of weeks. You're going to lose a lot more because obviously you've got water. You're a lot more responsive. Then it will slow down, and this is what loads of people they first couple of weeks. Oh, I'm down 4 pounds, and then after that, it's I'm down 1 pound. Oh, I'm down half a pound. You're still losing.
Down.
So
Yeah. But even
oh
that
fuck,
week you
you're
don't
still losing.
lose, people are like just quite disheartened. And
Yeah, and then the week after it drops again, and it's weight loss is never linear. This is why it's not always great to take your weight every day. If you do it once a week, that way you'll see again. It's ebbs and flows, but
yeah.
yeah, but again, you'll see over a longer period of time. It will sometimes, depending on again, we're talking about females. It could go up at certain points in the month, and then week after it drops like a rock. So again, it's as long as you're losing or as long as you're not gaining, you're winning.
As long as but if you are gaining, it's not an issue if you
Yeah,
can
if
try and
that's
identify what's happening.
why. Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
once you
look,
figure out
usually for
why.
females, it's going to be hormone sensitivity at certain points in the month where you are going to gain a little bit of weight, and it's usually water weight to do with stress, cortisol, obviously being on cycle, and then obviously it usually drops off.
Or inflammation. I always sometimes see it go up. I'm like, what did you train yesterday? And normally, but I had a leg session or I had a big
Yeah,
run and
or if they
training.
do
It's like,
two big body parts back to back, like legs and
yeah.
back, and yeah,
So it's good to know. But another way to look at it is, I think, as a percentage of your body weight. So 0.5% to 1% of your body weight each week. And whatever numbers you're using, if you're using Louis, half a pound to or a pound a week, or my 0.5% to a percent, or whatever it is, you have to look at it over a period of time. So if you're losing 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, great, and then you lose 0.000 over that 6 week period, you've lost what's that? 6 pounds. That's a pound a week, so it's consistent. But people always look at, oh, I didn't lose this week, but you lost more last week. So you have to look at it on a period of time
durations,
rather
yeah.
than just that 1 week, because it's a long process, and getting the physique that we all want to achieve it takes time.
Yeah, there's no quick fix. It is a drawn out process, which you know what the main thing is people, oh, I don't want to do this, it's getting hard. Just enjoy the process, because before you know it, you get to that point and you're like, oh, okay, you either then your goal completely changes once you reach that point and you haven't actually enjoyed the process of you putting in that hard work, getting exactly what you want. Like you get to that point and then you're like, oh, well, now I want this, instead of enjoy the ride to your goal, weight, physique, look, clothes. And then obviously your perception changes and your goal changes. So enjoy the process. As much as sometimes it's tough, it does help you it helps you with a lot of facets of life as well, of not giving up, keep pushing. So enjoy the process.
I also think one thing I forgot to mention was obviously with cheat meals in the conversation earlier. If you have a cheat meal today, your weight might be up for the next period of days, depending on what you had. Um, so if it's a Thursday and my weight, sometimes it can go down and then up,
Yeah.
but it's still influenced by that cheat meal. So there's so many factors to consider. So the scales, as always, are just one indication of your progress. A lot of people who sign up to coaches like us, the goal, I know we have goal weights in mind, but ultimately, your friends at work, your family, and your partners, they don't know or care what your body weight is. They see how you look, they sense how you feel and your confidence and how your clothes fit. So, as long as the physique is changing in the direction you want, then it's a win.
Weight's not always important.
I love
And
getting a
I
message. Oh, I can fit in this dress that haven't worn in X amount of time.
yeah, I
So.
totally agree with that. Definitely.
But guys, that is a wrap. Episode 2 over and out. While you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share some of the stuff on Instagram to your friends.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions,
Shoot us some more questions as
yeah,
well.
more questions. We want to help give you advice, actionable advice for the questions you have to reach your goals. So yeah,
Take
peace.
it easy.